What is up, guys? Sente here. So, over the past few weeks, I recently downloaded a Go computer program called Leela. It's basically the free version of Crazy Stone. It's about 3 stones weaker, I think. It's registered as a 3 Dan on KGS. Much stronger than I am, so I mean, I'll take it. And I've been playing around with it a lot, and I think that Leela has really helped me um, review games more accurately and learn a ton of stuff that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to figure out on my own without getting somebody else to help me. There's a really cool way that you can use this program to learn a lot when you're reviewing your games. And so if you're one of those people that you don't know a lot of high level players and you feel bad about asking people for reviews, or you just, they don't have the time to do it, but you want to review your game, highly recommend you watch this video because it will show you everything you need to know to figure out not only where your game went wrong, but which moves you should have done instead. So with that, I'm going to show you guys how to learn and how to make a computer program your teacher. So let's get started. All right, so some things right off the bat. First of all, the program is Leela. I will put the description or the website in the description below where you can get this program. And if your antivirus complains, it's a false positive. I ran this executable that I downloaded for the program through like 3 different online virus scanners, and everything came up clean. So I haven't noticed any problems. I think it's a clean file. There were some complaints or things happening where people's security was like bleeping saying there was a Trojan in it, but I haven't found that yet. So, and I've looked. So that's just my experience. Do with it what you want. In any case, Leela is a very strong program. It has the opportunity to do both rated games where it scales down its skill level to match yours, or just all out. You can just pick the maximum number of simulations it calculates before making a move, and it will just execute that. It's really cool to play against and really cool to see what it thinks the big points are. And as of right now, I have never been able to win by less than, or lose. I've never been able to lose by less than 25 points. In an even game. It's really strong, and I play tested this against some 1-Dans on TieGem, and it doesn't even care. It wins, doesn't even care how much and how well it wins by. So I'm like, I can probably use this to figure out what I should be doing in my games against humans. The cool thing is, if you'll check on the bottom of your screen, right around here, there is a little gray box. This box is the bottom of the Leela screen, and this is the board. So what actually happens is there's a button called Analyze Position, and what it'll do is whoever's next move it is, it'll figure out the win percentage for that side as well as the best move, what Leela thinks is the best move. So basically what the Dan level move is for whatever situation you're in. And it can really help, and I'm going to show you a few games now where I learned an unbelievable amount of things about the game and about what's important and what's not important that I wouldn't have really known otherwise. So let's get started. I think I play... What do I play? I'm white in this game. I lost this game pretty badly. And I wanted to see when the game started to fall out of balance. So I'm sure we know this problem. We think everything is going fine, right? Everything is good. Everything is good. Just doing that. So this feels pretty balanced to me. Building here and potentially building here. He's got very solid corners, which will be somewhat annoying, but I think white's ahead in this. And he plays here, and this is like the crossroads, right? So I'm looking at a few different options. I'm like, oh, do I follow? Do I like try to make shape for this group? Do I defend the fact that he could fight me and like invade here because like my position is very thin? I was looking at the 2-space extension. I ended up playing this move. But this is like, the feeling, right? You don't really know, like, this is the point where you're like, there's a bunch of things I could do, and I know some are better than others. And this is exactly what we can use Leela for. So what we can actually do is analyze the position. It gives us a win percentage right here for white, because it's white's move. And it's going through all these simulations, all these nodes. I'm looking at the number of nodes, and once the nodes hit 10,000, I am going to... it was actually 100,000. Yeah, 100. Yeah, 100,000 nodes. I'm just going to click stop. You can stop it at any time. And it gives you your best move, which... Okay, here we go. Yes, so it says best move is M4. So actually, Leela thinks that securing the middle and keeping black from attacking this group is more important than this side that I was looking at. We can even do it again, because there's probably more than one good move, right? So we can play this analysis again. And it still says that I'm ahead in this opening, which is cool. So you can see, okay, I'm ahead right now, or the game is even. So I haven't really made a giant mistake yet, and you can figure out where your mistakes happened. And still best move N4, right? So I should have played M4. What did I play? I solidified my corner here. So we see that Leela thinks that, and this is how you start to train your thinking to be more like a Don. Be like, okay, this weak group, you can attack this and get center power. And this is really not a lot of points. So it's only 8, really. It does, but there's still Aji. There's invasion Aji here. So this really didn't solidify as much as I was thinking it would. And so he goes there again. And now we can click analyze, right? So I want to see how bad of a mistake it was. So now we can see win percentage is still above 50%, which means that I didn't do anything game breaking. Right? So you can see what it thinks of the game as you're going through based on his move. And its analysis is still... has changed to K7. Okay, so now instead of M4, because black is encroaching, white wants to strengthen the group, start a skirmish, perhaps find a way to cut black off. Try it again. And we see what moves it's thinking of, right? K7. So M4 was good when this stone wasn't there, just to get some strength. But now this stone is there. White wants to limit black's development into the center. And we can see that, right? Because if white plays M4, it's not really doing a lot. Because this black stone is still here, white can't really expand, right, in any kind of way. So, still K6. K7, K6, so around this area, right? But you can see what sort of area Leela wants to play. And we can also look at punishing moves, right? So in this situation, white made a slow move. What's the best thing for black to do to take advantage of the weak group, right? You can click analyze. Because it can play for both sides, whichever one, right? Black is still behind, according to Leela's estimates right now. And black's best move turns out to be H7, which is exactly what black played, right? So black played the best direction and the best move to try to get an advantage back in this situation. He's attacking from the top. He's going to get center control. Eventually might be able to press white down here and develop the top, which is really the best way for black to get it back into the game after the weak group has been harassed, right? So we can see this entire position can be completely dissected from a very knowledgeable perspective. This is a very strong program. I can definitely trust that what it thinks is the best move for my point, my level of play is probably the best move. Until I'm a 3-Don on KGS, and then I can think about not listening to it anymore. But in terms of right now, I saw that right. So, and I had that right idea. My move was M4, which is one of the ones he suggested a few moves ago, as well as K6. So I played those two moves that they were suggesting, which is good. That makes me feel good, right? I realize I have the right ideas. My timing might not be perfect, but at least I'm playing in the right area of the board. Right, now black plays here, and we can analyze again and just see what happened after that exchange. Win percentage still at 53. Nothing changed. And what point, what does alpha go, or not alpha, What does Leela think is the most important part of the board, right? So we're going to click stop. K8. Right. And one of the principal things is to not let your groups get surrounded, right? So Leela thinks that K8, keeping this group from being covered completely and keeping black separated, is a good strategy. So I don't do that. I defend here first, and then I do this. So I'm getting there, right? I'm thinking about the right ideas, which is good. And this really takes the mystery away from, am I playing right? You know, especially if you don't have a player to review with. So now black plays here, and this was another small mistake. I played here, trying to take away the base, but black isn't looking for a base. Black just wants to limit and like connect with friends, right? So that was another questionable move, and if we analyze, I did this before, so I know which one it is. Win percentage still at 53, so it's still a close game. This is not a one game, but it's a pretty even game. 09. Makes sense. Jump out. So you want to jump out, keep black from getting connected, since this is like not a lot of points anyway, and there's no way white can keep this now that this black stone is here. It makes sense to try to use your stones to influence more of the board. I, in fact, played here, and I gave another bad move. I wasn't thinking about the surround and how good that was. I thought he would answer this, but it's too small. He made the correct choice. And this ended up being not good. So now I'm cut off, and this group is really sad. Very, very, sad. And we can see that didn't really work out well. So now if we do analyze again on white's move, which is my move, my win percentage dropped down to 51%. Cool enough, it's still even, but not as much as it was. I lost a little bit of my advantage, right? And it's saying that white's best move is, so click stop, P7, defending the weak group, and which I basically played. And we can just keep going. We can just like go move by move, figure out what Leela is thinking about the game, figure out what you did correctly, what you didn't do correctly. Wants to do N8. I didn't do N8. So wants to play here. As the annoying thing though, the annoying thing is it doesn't have a tree, so I can't really play this move without messing everything up and having to re-upload the game. So I recommend doing this in like another game review or on a board or something, and just like having both of them open and then like play out the variations that Leela is suggesting. I was thinking of giving the Atari and then probably coming out to connect to take care of like these cutting stones. I decide to run out this way, which I think was like decent. And so now we can see if this was a good decision, right? Was this a bad decision, or was just this an alternate thing that wasn't exactly what Leela was thinking, but hey, I can still win the game, right? So we're going to click Analyze after black makes this move. And we'll click Analyze. Okay, so now my win percentage jumped up to 55%. So we can see that black made a lot of mistakes in how he handled this. Because now I've got access into here, right? Probably if Leela was playing, my move would have been slightly subpar, but because black made a mistake, I now have a 55 win percentage on this game. So if click stop, best move N6. Okay, so there's probably some Aji black or white is looking to settle this group. I decide to defend, and black plays here. And we can go again. Now my win percentage dropped down to 53, which makes sense. And of course C16, right? And we can go through this entire fight and figure out, what Leela suggesting for the corner. I played E17. I don't know if that was the right move. Leela's suggesting D17, which makes sense. played e17. I just wanted that out of the way. And then I played there. So we can do this again. Right, so back up to 54. And Leela has a lot of foresight, right? Leela's saying S5 is the most valuable place right now because this is the only really weak group that I have at this point. And I decided to go for an attack first. And this is what's so cool about this was like Leela called out S5, right? And that's exactly where Black played to make me lose control of the game. So we can go through this game. S5. I decided to play here. I managed to split Black stuff, and he got S5. And that signaled some really bad decisions that I made that made me lose the game. We can see what Leela thinks about it. Win percentage increased. I have a lot of points. So I didn't handle this area correctly. Of course, Leela's saying to simply defend with S6. I tried to be a little more active about it. Then I played S6. So he was doing this and this and this. Gave another push. Here. And so now that exchange happened. He got a few really good forcing moves. What does Leela think now? Now my win percentage is up to 63. So almost over halfway into this game, and this is against a 1Q on OGS, right? I'm winning, which is awesome. So I can see that even though I made a few mistakes, there's right now, according to Leela's programming, there's nothing that's stopping me from winning this game right now. And so we can just sort of tree look at this and just figure out what my mistake was. So Leela thinks T10 is worth the most. What's T10? Okay, play there. That makes sense. What did I do? Hey, I did it. Nice. I decided to start a ko. Is a ko the right thing to do? Apparently it is. Yep. Okay, so started a ko. And we can do this. I'll probably just do the one game because this is actually really cool. Trying to figure out, you know. So Leela thinks I should. Oh, no, it doesn't. Never mind. Let's wait till it gets to 10,000 nodes. D10. So not passively go this way, but go up. Which makes sense. Even if Black decides to win the ko, that'll like give White more points in this direction, right? I decided to do this. He did the ko back. I decided to do that. Does Leela think I should keep fighting the ko? Now my win percentage is down to 60%. Which is a little unfortunate. So Leela thinks solidifying this is the best option. T9. Okay. I decide to keep fighting the ko. Leela will probably still say T9. Now it says P4. Another ko threat. Okay. Kind of played the wrong one, but whatever. Does Leela so this is where I took the ko. And let's see. And I think this was the game-losing mistake. Yeah, Leela definitely thinks that I should have defended there and let Black take the ko. I thought that if I took this ko, I would be able to like kill this group. It was ridiculous, a ridiculous plan that would never have worked. But for some reason, I thought that I could. So I decided to take the ko. And Black went up. I got crazy aggressive right now, trying to do it all, trying to kill everything. He got this move in. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really should have just played here and connected all of my groups up and then tried to like limit this. We can analyze this now. And still says I'm winning. So now it's up to 67. Oh, R12. R12's even better. Yeah. Literally just connecting my groups up. Then this will live. And then I can like play endgame at like B6. Would have been fine. Best move R12. That makes sense. That's an Atari. White black goes over. I go up. Or I go this way. And then I've got this entire corner is bigger, and this will be safe forever, and it can't be attacked anymore, which would be great. I decide to be stupid and let black get this now. Now let's analyze. Down to 61%. And I need to defend it as 14. Down to 60%. And I still just not... So I lose S14. Still trying to kill this thing. I'm still trying. And then I don't. So now if we go back to here, still 61. So we can see that Leela would still be able to win this game 61% of the time, even with all of my mistakes. Sacrificing these 3 stones for 0 reason. My attack failed. Though I am connected, which is cool, right? Leela thinks that I should play B8. It's a big endgame move, right? I decide to take. And now I got into another fight. And this, not minding the safety of this group, was where it looks like I lost it. Let's see. Yep, now my win. Now it's down to 43 because this group got completely cut off and I let it get cut off. So now this is the first time in the game my win percentage dropped down below 50%. And I managed to get through this entire game and still be able to pull off a win, according to the program. And if you have Crazy Stone, you can probably use this with Crazy Stone too. So another reason this would have been so important is, I mean, it's a great endgame, but it also gives white a base to be able to, you know, solidify the points from. Even just as far back as here, still thinks I'm okay. We can wait till go down to gets its 100,000 nodes or whatever. Looks like C8's the... Oop, change to B8. B8. Yeah, that move is still like very, very necessary to have my group live because it can get cut now. Which I just wasn't thinking. I was just frustrated at losing this. Didn't really count, didn't really look to see what my points were at the time. And blew a 1 game. Well, could have potentially 1 game, right? But I learned a lot. Just from analyzing this game, I learned how far I got into it without actually losing, which was very reassuring, pretty cool. I learned that these moves, S5 to keep my group safe, and B5 were important, especially in the late middle game, and it's important to count and see, you know, where you stand. And the security of having a group that can't be attacked is really, really good. Additionally, probably not playing solidly at D17 like it's suggested to was probably a bad idea because I was able to get like cut and like wrapped around and stuff. We learned another thing too, which was, right, instead of playing this move, better to jump out when white's in this position because You're not going to get any points here anyway, many. And this will be more likely able to affect more of the board and counterattack the black stone, and it'll be cool, right? So that was a small mistake. But all these weren't really small mistakes. The big mistake was letting that left-hand group get cut off. So this was just such a cool analysis that I don't think we would have gotten if, I would have just tried to review this on my own. I might have gotten a lot of misconceptions about when it was okay, when I was losing, when I wasn't. But the computers can really help figure that out. Granted, it's so much better than a lot of Q players. It might be thinking of strategies that you can't implement because you're just not good enough yet. And that's kind of the risk, right? It might be too good. It might play a really slow move because it knows that theoretically it will be able to rip apart the opponent's Moyo anytime it wants. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't care. But you don't know how to do that yet. So it might not work for you, but it's still something to realize, okay, this is theoretically, this is a good position for me. I need to figure out how to turn this into a good position and use Leela's ideas and with your own reading and sort of learn the game better, right? We can try another game, just quick, just super quick. There was another one I had. This one? Yeah. Oh, it was a misclick. It was a misclick and just a bad thing. Was this the one? No, it was this one. Here we go. So I actually played the same person twice. The first time I analyzed my game with Leela and got a better idea of what to do, we had the same opening position. It was really funny. Both times it was the same opening position. So if we take it back to the beginning, I was white again. He does that Joseki that for some reason people like. And so I analyzed the previous game and found that if you're trying to invade a Moyo like this, the best way to do it is to start at f17. Because these are the stones, these stones are furthest away and there's the most sort of open area. Just jumping in the corner isn't great because black gets all the walls that he can use. And just minding your own business isn't great because black can just strengthen all these points. And black has the first move advantage, right? So we can analyze, for white's move. Just about even. Nothing's been decided yet, which makes sense. It's the opening. And they're saying that... kind of a toss-up. C17, O17. That's interesting. It gave me a different suggestion last time, which I guess means there's multiple avenues, right? So it actually is saying to jump into the corner. That's interesting. Last time I did this, it suggested something different. So the top three moves are C17, C16, D17. Or E17. Everything is focusing around this corner, which is interesting. So it's suggesting that. I decide to play here. We can analyze again and see what's up. My win percentage went up to 52%. So this was a fine choice. I don't think it was a bad choice. It didn't do anything. And this is another really cool thing, right? You can see how it decides what's good and what's bad. And that games aren't really decided until very much into the game. It's usually even pretty far into the game. So this is a very interesting idea. So it thinks H17. And I didn't play this. So I thought the bottom was less important than the top. Because if I defended the top, I thought I can get forcing moves if you tried to cut at G17. But I didn't realize that if you play at H17, you get a ton of great forcing moves on the top here, as well as an invasion point. I believe it's over here. And I decide to do this and go up, and then he cuts. And then I misclick. And then once I misclick, everything is kind of really bad. So I can't really study the rest of this game because he split me up, and it was in a horrible, horrible position. Because I meant to play here and I clicked H18 instead, which is really sad. But we can see what it thinks. Just about 50, so I kind of lost my advantage by letting him capture that stone. So it thinks starting a ko is actually the strongest move, G18. The next strongest is like J17. So like around that area, right? Obviously protecting the cut point is really important. But now the other really cool thing we can do is we can be like, okay, you told me that this move was good. I don't understand how it's good. It doesn't feel right to me. So I'm going to make you play it. And I'm going to play the other side. So force computer move. Who's going to play that? And we're going to sort of see what happens. So let's say that black decides to do this. Strengthen its stuff, right? And let's say black defends here. And we can see that, oh, wow, now white's alive in my space, right? So that didn't work out. So we can go back and be like, all right, I'm just going to do this then. And see how many points this got reduced to? So now white was able to, like, basically reduce this a lot. Still has endgame here, still has endgame here. This is probably still invadable. And he took the corner away from here. So it's like, what do we even do now? I can try to invade. Sort of make a base here, but I'm not doing much other than just living. Try to kind of make my way. And now he's doing a leaning attack, right? Really strong. If I ignore, that doesn't work out great. I can try to come back up on top here, but now white really easily develops all of this. And so getting Sente from that exchange and letting this happen, the game feels a lot more even now, right? If we check the analysis tool, now black's win percentage is down to 44. So black does not have a great position. So black is forced to play riskily and G4 it and try to reduce this framework, right? So we do play G4 just to see what happens. Force computer move. Look at these leaning attacks. We can see how strong leaning attacks are, right? Taking down two weak groups. Really important. So everything, like white's just strengthening and weakening both things at once. More leaning attacks, more leaning attacks. I still have to escape. And then he can cut me, and I guess this works. Yep. So I can't, so I have to do this. Then black surrounds. And there's really nothing to do at this point. So this was really tough. So what should we have done instead? H4. So let's see. Honestly, let's just keep, and we can keep forcing computer moves, right? We can see how Leela does against itself. Okay, so it went one more. Leela defends now. So the Hane instead of the passive connection was better. because there's cut Aji here. That's why white filled that in. And all right, white plays there. Second block. Now we can start playing and just sort of see what happens. And we can give the clamp. And now white just wants to limit. And it looks like white's ahead. The only thing black really got was this and this the entire game, right? White's going to win by a lot of points just playing this really sort of simply. So this is just such a great tool for just this in general. And we can even look at invasion points, right? And be like, if I just like invaded here, can I live? And say if white plays c13, we'll just let the computer see if it can live and see what black can do to not make it live. So this is how you can use a Go program to study your games and to figure out where you went wrong. This is mind-blowingly awesome. I'm really excited just to keep doing this for my games, and I hope that you can use this too. Help improve your games, help figure out where the big points are, what's going on in the brain of a Dawn player, because computers are getting awesome.